In politics, you're either on message or you are losing. Let's get to it. Welcome to On Message, our weekly look at where the battle lines are drawn and who is winning the war of words. This week, a no-show. We're in the thick of debate season with candidates from all 5 federal races facing off with their opponents, all within an 11-day period. At least that was the general idea. Now, while there's no requirement for a candidate to take part in a debate, the events have become a traditional part of our election process. It's the best chance to stand next to your opponent, lay out your policy positions, your vision, and show voters why you are the right person for the job. The reality is each candidate has a different calculation to make, and it's that calculation that impacts how they prepare for debates, how they perform, and how often they even participate in debates. Or in the case of Congressman Burgess Owens, whether or not you decide to show up at all. Last week, the only real news that's come from any of the debates so far came when Owens announced he was skipping out on the entire affair, citing issues with the moderator. Now, for reference, moderators for the debate are selected by the Utah Debate Commission and aren't really up for negotiation with the campaigns. So when Salt Lake Tribune executive editor Lauren Gustus was selected to moderate the 4th District debate, that didn't sit right with Owens, who has a beef with the Trib dating back to when they published this political cartoon, which he deemed offensive and racist. With Owens out, the stage was left to his challengers, Democrat Darlene McDonald and Utah United Party nominee January Walker, and eventually a sack of potatoes. Politics can be really weird sometimes. So who won this round of this messaging battle, odd as it was? Well, you might think it's one of the 2 candidates who did actually show up for the debate. You also might argue it's Owens who got to skip the debate, dominate a news cycle, and take a shot at the liberal media, a favorite target of his base. I'd say it was probably Owens who didn't seem all that eager to debate and found an easy excuse to skip out. And it won't make a single bit of difference in the race he's going to win by a wide margin. If you're an incumbent like Owens, standing next to your opponent, putting her on the same level, can show your humility and willingness to engage, but it can also give voters a good look at someone who may actually measure up against you pretty well. It can be high risk, high reward, and that's why incumbents are increasingly opting to debate as few times as they can get away with. The fact is, in a midterm election, with public interest lower and viewership for the House debates lukewarm at best, my advice would have been to clear the amazingly low bar in a debate few would watch, and that would have influence on even fewer. But I don't know that Owens lost out by skipping out. That's it for this week. More on Message in the next issue of the Utah Political Underground. Make sure you visit the site and sign up for our weekly email update. You can find more On Message videos, in-depth Utah political stories and analysis, plus podcasts and more at utahpoliticalunderground.com.